This is In the Know for Wednesday, May 17, the 137th day of 2023. There are 228 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station 103.9 The Moose, live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast. On Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. We're on Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. There's some new hardware in the trophy case down at Grayson County High School today. We'll tell you about that, and the winners and losers from Election Day Primary 2023. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire. Is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm a little bit chilly.
A little bit chilly?
Yeah.
It'll warm up here in the studio
normally.
shortly. The lights are on and plenty of hot air in this room. So it'll get circulated around. You and I use Apple AirTags for our luggage.
Yes, we do.
How would you feel about a mom who tracks her kids with those Apple AirTags?
How old's the kid?
One is 4 and one is 2.
I like it.
Yeah, I think that's okay, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, give you an idea of where they are. I mean, we've got a 30-year-old, and I can tell you where she is right now by looking, but vice versa, she also knows where I am.
Yeah,
so
same
that
for
if
the
she,
21-year-old, almost.
if she needed anything. So I think it's okay, but some people. Listen, it's just different these days. You need to know where your kids are, and so they can be gone in an instant. So I think it's probably
like it. Yeah.
It's probably okay. He is the 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio News Hawk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley and the sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good.
2 late nights at Donley Field.
Yeah. It's been a long couple of days.
But the last part was a trophy ceremony and presentation. Cougars are 12th district champions.
They are first time since 2018 that the baseball team is a champ.
Didn't they have a really good record in the district?
7-1.
7-1.
Only one loss.
Yeah, so looking good. Lots of smiling faces there last night, and now.
And it might be more important, Mr. Spirit right there
Mr.
in the middle of it.
Spirit's there, and they will get ready for the regional tournament next week. When is the regional draw? Saturday, maybe?
Because the tournament starts Saturday.
The baseball tournament starts Saturday.
Both tournaments start Saturday, but the draw for baseball is going to be Thursday. The draw for softball will be on Friday.
Okay, I'm going to ask you about softball in just a few minutes. Okay, sunny, pleasant midweek. We're going to see. You might have seen some patchy fog this morning. That has burnt off since then, or evaporated, or however you like to describe it. We'll see some rain chances return on Friday, a 40% chance of that. But between now and then, we'll see mostly sunny today, a high of 79, clear and 49 tonight. Sunny, and we will see a high of 80 on Thursday. I've not looked at the timing of the potential rain on Friday yet, but just going by this graphic, I would guess it would be later on Friday and earlier on Saturday, because you got 40% chance on Friday, 40% chance on Saturday.
As someone who is keeping an eye on that Saturday forecast, you are correct.
Yeah, it's important. Important to figure out how that's going to work. Election Day has come and gone. The primary 2023 is in the books, and Daniel Cameron, Kentucky's Attorney General, is the GOP nominee to run against Andy Beshear coming up in November. And so it will set kind of a familiar story in a similar way to how it happened 4 years ago, where after one term, now Governor Beshear was running to unseat, had challenged the Bevin administration several times on things. The Cameron office, as general, has challenged the Beshear administration a few times. So anyway, you'll see how that turns out. He is the first major party African-American nominee in state's history. So a bit of a barrier being broken there, a bit of a milestone. It was a convincing win. It was not a majority. He got 47.7%, but Commissioner Ryan Quarles had 21.7%. And Kelly Craft, who outspent her rivals, got 52,000 votes. So it went Cameron Quarles Craft.
I think I read that somebody did the math that she spent $210 for every vote.
Yeah, I mean that's only 52,000 votes is what she gathered. But even if you had taken Craft and Quarles and put them together,
that really surprised me.
You would not have out. Well, it wouldn't be. What I'm trying to make the image of is if Craft hadn't been in the race, some of those votes would have gone to Cameron, but some of those votes would have gone to Quarles. But you would probably created a closer percentage. Then you've got a bunch of also-rans down there. I think it's a...
Maybe that would have been what would have gotten Robbie Joe over the top.
Maybe. I was surprised that Dieter is fourth. And
I'm not.
That was, yeah. I'm not sure what that says. But even if you had taken all the other votes and added them together, they weren't going to move the needle. It was Cameron's race to lose, and I didn't think he finished very well. Well, I thought he finished well, but at the top of the stretch, I thought he faltered a little bit, but then kind of regained. And so anyway, he'll be the nominee. Michael Adams, the incumbent Secretary of State, got 64% of the vote. Allison Ball, she's walked away with it, 72% in moving over to the Auditor of Public Accounts. Now, the race to replace Ball, who was term limited, Mark Metcalf got 51% of the vote, and he defeated Cooper Ryder and Oleka. Then you've got Jonathan Schell, who was we don't really care as much about the ag commissioner and who he might be endorsing, but if Warren Beeler endorses you, it carries lots of weight in Grayson County and many counties in Kentucky, and he was for Jonathan Schell. Richard Heath, though, ran pretty well, 43.5% of the vote. 14% voter turnout, a little better than maybe predicted. Secretary of State Adams mentioned that there was a tornado warning in 3 of their counties yesterday, and it was not a great day weather-wise, so that probably served as a little bit of a deterrent. But he also said that the State Board of Elections were preparing to meet yesterday afternoon, and he said, right before I walked in here, my election director said, we got 3 calls today. Normally we get 100. They were all benign situations like how to put up a vote sign by polling locations. So it's been really, really quiet. I think the way we've modified elections to allow for early voting, and so now you got absentee, you got early, you got day of. You got no excuse not to vote. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you don't vote, it's on you. It's not on the process. And in Kentucky, I like it. You show an ID, you show your registration, you have to sign in. And so to me, it feels very secure. In fact, it feels more secure for me now. I used to like the dial machines. You turn the rotary thing and punch that one and then cast your ballot. I liked that. I felt like we were taking a step backward when I was handed a paper ballot. But the paper ballot, I will tell you, feels like I am filling out a ballot. And now I'm going and putting it in the scanner myself, and I'm walking away, and that the entire process feels secure to me. So I'm good with it. And apparently the voters thought so too, because they handily said, Mike Adams, we want you to keep on being our Secretary of State and our Chief Elections Officer. So there you go. 1 week after a man broke into the Commonwealth's attorney's office, a Litchfield man has been arrested for threatening to harm county attorney for Grayson County. This happened about Monday morning. 45-year-old Adam Welsh of Litchfield, about 7:30, walked into a business on North Main Street. According to authorities, someone at the business informed him that he said he was going to County Attorney Jeremy Logston's office to assault him before, quote, tossing his body out of the second-floor window. The suspect then left the business. Law enforcement and Logston were notified of the threat, resulting in the courthouse being evacuated. Welsh never entered the courthouse, but he was seen walking around the building not long after leaving the business on North Main Street. He was arrested, charged with third-degree terroristic threatening, lodged in the Grayson County Detention Center. He had previously, my guess is, the genesis of this outrage is that he had previously been trespassed from the county attorney's office for unruly behavior. We had a story yesterday about the congressional office in Fairfax, and I just talked about this lunacy, the lunacy that people are acting with. We have a tendency to just say, "Oh, third-degree terroristic threatening, they're not harmful," or not. No, they're not until they snap. And so this is why everybody needs to be on notice. If you act a fool, you're going to get treated a fool. And we cannot take chances in 2023. If you make threats toward leadership, you need to be summarily dealt with, because you got to create an incentive to not exhibit that type of behavior. It's just dumb. And we got to do something different. The Litchfield City Council heard the first readings of 2 rezoning requests and entered into an executive session to discuss a personnel matter at their meeting on Monday. The first was a rezoning request from Warren RECC, and they will vote on that at the next meeting. Also, there was a map amendment zone request for S&S Rental and Sales on a 1-acre tract in the southwest corner of the Grayson Springs Road and Thomas and Byway. Those requests were both recommended by the Litchfield Planning Commission, and they will vote on those at their next meeting. Council members, the mayor, county attorney entered an executive session to discuss personnel, and primarily a personnel issue. But from the executive session, City Attorney Earlene Wilson said the council discussed possibly changing the city's personnel policy in regards to substance abuse or addiction issues. She added that she will draft a change to the personnel policy and present and discuss the matter at the next meeting. So take from that what you will. A plane built in 1913 crashed in Muhlenberg County. It happened Monday afternoon about 5:30. 2 men were on board, crashed on a field at the Wendell H. Ford Regional Training Center near Greenville. The vintage aircraft was flying at 1,500 feet when the engine lost power. The 2 men, who did not suffer major injuries, were flying from an airport in Hopkins County to Bowling Green. The plane had just been refueled. One of the occupants went to a local hospital for evaluation. There are only 6 of these types of planes in the world. So rare and old, 110 years old and rare, only 6. And you see a picture of it there.
I wonder if it's repairable.
Yeah, I guess it might.
I hope so.
Original parts probably hard to come by, but they can probably.
If anything else, to get it in like museum shape down in what's the park in Bowling Green that's got the plane museum?
The Aviation Museum?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what it's called, but I took a stab at Aviation Museum.
The park has a name
right.
that the Aviation Museum is at.
Gotcha. The Kentucky National Guard announced Monday that the annual Memorial Day observance will be at 10 a.m. Monday, May 29th at the Kentucky National Guard Memorial located at the entrance of the Boone National Guard Center in Frankfort. By the way, our Memorial Day parade is Saturday morning of that weekend. We'll be talking more about that next week. But the reason I mention about the Kentucky National Guard says at the ceremony, 5 names will be added to the memorial that honors Kentucky National Guard men and women who died in the line of duty, bringing the number of names on the memorial to 291 soldiers and airmen since 1912. Of the names being added, 1 died in 1919 following federal service on the southwest border, 1 in 1937 following state active duty in Louisville during the Great Flood of 1937, and 3 others who died during World War II. Now, none of these are necessarily local. A couple from Louisville, 1 from Greenup County, 1 from Hopkinsville, but I'm just going to give you their names. Private John Hogue, Private Benjamin Berghaus, Corporal Lloyd George, Captain Cecil Butler, and Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Kelly. I think they at least deserve to have their names mentioned for the service that they have given to our nation. We have learned of a dust-up between one very famous restaurant brand and one moderately famous restaurant brand, and there's a tug-of-war over the phrase Taco Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Taco Bell and Taco John's. Taco Bell based in Kentucky, a Yum brand, and Taco John's based in Wyoming, but
coming to Kentucky
with locations as near as Evansville and Henderson. and I think maybe one at Madisonville. So they're kind of creeping into the extreme western portions of the state.
There's one that's opening in northern Kentucky.
Opening in northern Kentucky. And so Taco John's trying to get a better foothold. And so Taco John's decides they're going to go and trademark the phrase Taco Tuesday. Taco Bell says, au contraire, mon frere, you can't service mark that because it is a too commonly used phrase. Now, just for fun, I mean, I know Taco Bell's a Kentucky company, but in rooting for the underdog, I'm kind of over here on the Taco John side, but I have to agree with Taco Bell. Everyone uses this phrase. You're going to have to shut down every food truck, every Mexican restaurant, every Taco Tuesday is a utopian idea. It is not a service markable phrase, in my opinion. But they do need to go trademark potato olays, which Taco John's is famous for.
I've heard a lot about.
They're just like hash rounds. So not hash browns, they're more like the hash rounds.
And aren't there cheese in them?
I don't think they put. They might have gotten fancy over the years, but
see, I've never. I know Drew Franklin on KSR talks a lot about it, but I've never had it.
That's been one of my problems in that space, in the Taco Bell, Taco John space, is the proper side. Chips don't seem like a side; they seem like an entree, and there's not and.
Chips
like beans don't seem like a side. Beans go on the entree. So the idea that Taco John's would say, here are some potato rounds, some hash brown rounds.
Tater tots.
Yes, but in circular round format, which makes them feel very festive, somehow appeals to me, and I think, what a great way to solve a problem. Who you taking in this fight? You taking... They can't trademark Taco Tuesday, can
I don't
they?
think so.
I think my mom's right there. Just gets everybody talking about it.
Good idea, Adele.
That is smart.
She's a step ahead of us
Yes,
on
she
this.
is.
So, but think about how many school lunch menus would have to be ripped up. They was just
Taco
every
Tuesday.
lunch lady in Kentucky had to go, no more Taco Tuesday. And wouldn't the kids be disappointed?
The poor story.
Indeed they would. Learned this morning that the Kentucky softball program will make their 14th straight appearance in NCAA tournament. Tennis team at UK doing well. The baseball team's done well, so it's been an exciting spring at UK. The softball team's 30-20-1. They'll make their 14th consecutive appearance, and they'll compete in the Northwestern Regional. And speaking of softball, the Grayson County Lady Cougar softball team, did they finally get underway last night?
Yeah, they fell last night 6-5 to Edmonson County. They were up 3-2. Edmonson had a big fifth inning, if my memory's right. Jumped out to 6-3 lead. Lady Cougars came back. It was 6-5. They had runners on first and second and fell. I know Coach Reese had a big post on Facebook this morning on just saying how proud she was. They were starting multiple middle schoolers, and sometimes, playing in Brownsville makes it that much more challenging against Edmonson County, and they just fell a little bit short. So
unfortunately,
they
they won't get to compete in their hosted regional tournament that also starts on Saturday.
Correct.
Doesn't
10
it?
a.m. will be the first game on Saturday.
So, and by the way, we're going to have coverage of all that tournament for you. Unfortunately, we won't have a rooting interest.
No, but I guess for the 8 teams, they will enjoy that because,
neutrality.
like I was saying, I don't care who wins now.
Yeah, you don't care a bit. You'll just be there for the tournament. So there you go. All caught up on the headlines. Going to talk about the Preakness coming up here on In the Know.
For more than 70 years, Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center has cared for the health of our friends, neighbors, and family members in Grayson County and beyond. We've celebrated every beautiful newborn, every successful surgery, and every healed injury. Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center is focused on finding solutions to your health challenges. As part of the Owensboro Health System, we want to keep you healthy. We want to make you proud.
Today, successful small businesses are lean, portable, and focused. If you're running your own business, you need to stay in tune to your customers, vendors, and employees. That doesn't leave much time for processing payroll and reporting, much less the overall performance of your business. The firm of Buckles, Travis, and Hart has a full offering of services for small businesses. Payroll processing, tax liability, unemployment, and financial reporting, just to name a few. Think of them like a built-in business manager, but they don't get sick and they don't ask for time off. Call or contact today to help get your business focused across the board. Buckles, Travis, and Hart, 270-259-5604, GraysonCPAs.com.
Congratulations! You're gonna be a mom, and we're here to help every adorably tiny step of the way. Now, expectant and new mothers up to 1 year are eligible for no-cost health coverage through K-CHIP or Medicaid. Just visit us at connect.ky.gov/K-CHIP to qualify and enroll. Then sit back and relax for a minute, okay? You've got enough going on.
Are you looking for a stable career with excellent benefits, 401k match, paid time off, and tuition reimbursement? Cormark is here. We are ready to support you and your career goals. When you join us, you'll discover a culture that encourages you to grow and challenges you to achieve. We embrace each employee as family. Our incentive pay structure rewards you based on your own performance. Show us your commitment, and we'll show you how to earn the money you deserve. Call a recruiter today, 270-259-9341, or stop by for an interview. Walk-ins welcome. Cormark is an equal opportunity employer.
At Holiday World and Splash and Safari, sometimes free takes a little convincing, especially with dads.
Free parking? That's how they get you.
They're just naturally suspicious of free stuff. Free soft drinks!
Whoa. That's how they get you.
But after a day of fun on the world's longest water coasters and our 400 drone light show, dads come around. At Holiday World, we get you. We're just not out to get you. That's why there's
free soft drinks, free parking, free soft drinks!
Get tickets at holidayworld.com.
The share it with a friend deal, even if that friend is yourself. Your McDonald's, your rules.
There's a deal for every friendship at McDonald's. Now get a McCrispy, a Quarter Pounder with cheese, Big Mac, or 10-piece McNuggets. Mix and match any two for only $6.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Price and participation may vary. Single item at regular price. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
The man behind artificial intelligence chatbot ChatGPT testified before Congress yesterday.
Artificial intelligence has the potential to improve nearly every aspect of our lives, but also that it creates serious risks we have to work together to manage.
OpenAI CEO Sam Altman says government regulation is crucial as the AI sector continues to advance. He called for licensing and testing requirements for increasingly powerful AI models. Altman said he believes AI can find solutions to some of humanity's biggest challenges, but sound guardrails need to be put in place. Experts and lawmakers have recently raised concerns about the fast-developing technology. One of Apple's major suppliers is breaking ground on a massive new factory. Foxconn produces 70% of all iPhones and initially will employ 25,000 workers at the $500 million facility in the state of Telangana, India. The expansion comes as Apple is pushing to move its supply chain and production sites away from China. And Elon Musk is being subpoenaed by the U.S. Virgin Islands as part of its Jeffrey Epstein case. Tech Report, Mark Mayfield.
Don't believe me, just watch.
All right, Christy Buckles and Teresa Buckles need to know today is Pack Rat Day. Today is World Hypertension Day. It's World Telecommunications Day. And it is Walnut Day to show recognition and promote awareness of the walnut.
Listen, they are hard to pick out.
The Greeks called walnuts caryon, K-A-R-Y-O-N, or caryon, however you want to say it.
Got to put it in some pesto.
That means head, because the shell resembles a human skull and the walnut kernel itself looks like a brain.
Absolutely. And that's why it makes it so hard to pick out. Like, I've had to sit and pick out walnuts before, and
Yeah.
So you just buy them already shelled,
When your grandparents tell you to sit down and pick them out, Sam, you sit down and you pick them out.
Well, and there's an art to cracking them well without
Yes.
crushing them.
Well, see, that would always
And
be the thing
then
that
you
my
got
dad
to
would
take
get.
that little tool in there, and
So Papa would crack them the correct way, and then they would get passed to me, and I would pick
you
them
better
out.
not get some hole in there.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
mercy.
On my watch, I would get in trouble.
Yeah, it didn't taste very good.
And there's biting into that too.
Is rough
You'll
stuff.
get into some. Whoa, hello. Oh.
Like you feel like you're gonna, be broken a tooth or
You
something.
get the dentist on speed dial. There are only 8 horses in the Preakness. Now, the Derby obviously had trouble fielding a full field. Is that redundant? Fielding a full field? But at least they got down to 17, I think is what it ended up being. Something like that. Because they used all their alternates as well.
Yeah,
Maybe
17
it was-
or 18, something
maybe
like
it was
that.
18, 19, something like that. But for 8, and they will be, Mage was installed yesterday or day before as the favorite, being the Derby winner.
But I don't
guess
even
that
know any
makes
because
sense.
none of the other horses from the Derby are even running, are
No,
they?
it doesn't. I don't recognize any of these names. First Mission, Red Route 1, Chase the Chaos, Coffee with Chris, Blazing Stevens, Mage, Perform, and National Treasure. None of those are Derby horses.
I mean, you've got your friend Chris. Do you have to bet on that since you, I guess, presumably have Coffee with Chris Winkle?
I'm going to have Coffee with Chris Winkle tomorrow.
So do you then have to bet on that horse? Or do you own that horse? Talking about what
Maybe he does. I don't know.
I like National Treasure, though. That's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a very good. Got John Voight in it, Nicolas Cage in there. Yeah. Now we know the Constitution is stored at Mount Rushmore.
No, that was the treasure. The map on the back of the Declaration of Independence told you to go to. And that was the second. I don't remember.
Mount Rushmore.
It's been a while since I've seen those movies.
If you're making summer travel plans, be aware that the U.S. State Department is issuing a warning against traveling to a couple of popular Caribbean and South American countries. The State Department last week reclassified both Colombia and Jamaica as level 3. Now, I don't know who's vacationing in Colombia. I'm certainly not. I've seen Narcos. I've seen the entire series. I'm not going near Colombia. But I might go to Jamaica. But Jamaica is now a level 3, urging Americans to reconsider travel to the countries.
I would assume if you go to, most Americans are probably going to go to the resort, and I'm sure you're probably okay.
The places I see, like of Colombia on 90 Day, I think I would enjoy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Central America, Southern Northern America, Southern North America, Central America, and South America, there are lots of places to go there that are beautiful. Why would a person insist on Colombia?
You could get some good food, though, in that area.
Yeah, but is that the only place in the world that got good food?
Well,
I mean, if I had to rank it, I mean, it wouldn't be up there in my top places to visit, but if I have extra time and extra money just to go and go and go, I would definitely like to go there.
And then just throw Venezuela in after that.
Well, they discuss that's the particular area of Colombia they are discouraging people specifically is the border adjacent to Venezuela because it's a route.
I was going to say, you're probably good if you would go to like
the
Bogota or something, which I think is the capital.
Have you seen Narcos?
Huh?
No, have you seen Narcos?
I have not.
Okay.
No.
Watch Narcos and then tell me if you're so hot on going to Colombia.
I have no interest in going to Colombia.
The department warned in particular about Jamaica, said violent crimes such as home invasions, armed robberies, sexual assaults, and homicides are common, and said sexual assaults occur frequently, including at all-inclusive resorts. The department added local police often do not respond effectively to serious criminal incidents. The department said travelers especially should not visit Aruca, Cauca, that's in Colombia, and Norte de Santander, which is along the Colombia-Venezuelan border. It says due to crime, kidnapping, and risk of detention when crossing into Venezuela from Colombia. Yeah, KNR are big in that area of the country. They think they can hold you hostage and then get a ransom from the State Department or for somebody to do that. So just got to be careful. Perhaps you want to travel to Europe. Crime-free in Europe. They don't have any crime. So this will be A-OK. A California woman bought 3 abandoned homes in Italy for just $3.30 to restore.
What?
Oh, like Eric's singing the praises of Cartagena. Okay. I need to talk to Eric's travel agent.
I was going to say, it sounds like that Colombia might not be as bad as you think.
Perhaps. Cartagena. That's probably where all the problems are, is in Bogota, but you go down to Cartagena, crime-free. California woman buys 3 homes in Italy for $3.30 to restore them. Sounds like a great proposition.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the other shit.
And I'm familiar with this program because these villages in Italy are just evaporating because people are moving away from them.
Mm-hmm.
There are not centers of commerce. It's hard to get supplies and staples and just general things that you need to live. But you've got these centuries-old buildings that they're just begging for people.
And
that if you got this romantic idea of moving to Tuscany...
And it's not like if you're going to go on vacation to Italy, you're going to go to this place probably.
That's right. And there are restrictions. You have to restore it to certain conditions. You can't turn it. You can't, restore it and then make a return on it. Otherwise, the return, I think, goes back to the governments of these cities. But it's not only are they nearly giving the buildings away, but sometimes tax incentives and other things to make investments to try and save some of this architecture. So
I like it, though.
I do, too. We have $3, right?
Do you got the 30 cents, though?
I got 30 cents in the couch.
Okay.
Or in probably underneath the floor mat of my truck, we could probably find 30 cents.
Okay.
Well, they might raise it, though, to $4 now.
Yeah, they could. Let's see. I saw the properties require anywhere between $24,000 to $90,000 to restore in another similar incident. This program's happening all over Europe. So.
But theoretically, if you did it and did it well, you could almost do like the Airbnb thing. Because for some people, you could say, "Hey, do you want to go to Italy but be in the middle of nowhere where no one can find you?" And some people would be like, "Yes."
If you live in Chicago, that sounds like a winning proposition.
Yeah, you'd rather go there than go to Rome.
What if we got in with like the witness protection program? Oh. Hey, could send them there, right?
WITSEC, yeah, that'd probably be okay.
Right.
Speaking of travel, this was an interesting proposition. Which is better, planning a trip long in advance, carefully creating a must-do list and counting down the days until departure, or just taking off one day on a totally spontaneous adventure?
I think they both have their pros and cons.
They do. One stresses me out more than the other, but...
Which one stresses you out more?
The first one.
The first one.
Because there's the countdown to it and the preparation.
And I'm one of those people that, yes.
Right. But you wouldn't like it if I said we're leaving in 8 hours to go to the airport. And you say, where are we going? I don't know.
My response to you initially would be kind of meh. But I mean, you know me. I'll pack a bag. If you told me if you would not tell me the destination, and all I asked was, do I need summer clothes, winter clothes? You would tell me that, and we're at a point in our lives now that
maybe you could go to Colombia.
And I would have less time to be stressed out because I would be stressed out for so long with the planning one, which is what I normally do.
Yeah. Continuing to sell it. This would be the way that you would go, maybe, right?
Okay, yeah, but I think it's a little bit different when it's a port.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, I've been hearing about some cruise ships skipping certain ports in that area of the world because they're unsure of some of the guaranteeing security, or as close to guaranteeing security as you can. But anyway, that'd be a good way to do it. That'd be a good way to dip your toe in the water, just for a day to see if you like it. But back to the plan versus the unplanned. We've just never been in a position to this point in life where we can just suddenly go, let's just take off and go somewhere. We've got too many responsibilities and a business and children and all that stuff. But the idea of that, the idea of wanderlust, of just, let's just go, I used to laugh about just drive to the airport and pick a flight. Let's go here. That sounds like a romantic idea, but in practical terms. It's been hard to do
Didn't,
that.
like Southwest or one of the airlines do something that would be like $500 a year and you got X amount of flights a year or something. One of the airlines did that a couple of years ago, maybe during COVID.
Maybe.
Well, and I think you enjoy the planning process so much that the other kind of goes against how you are, like your personality.
Mm-hmm. Well, part of that is because generally I'm responsible for planning for everyone and trying to take what they want into consideration or working in and maximizing and making the best for everyone involved rather than just myself. But to just play airline roulette, just go. Now, you could end up in Guam if you weren't a little careful. So it's. I mean,
Well, if you decide to give it a whirl, I'll go with
3 in 5 people said door number 2. If door number 1 is planning and getting a good plan, 3 in 5 said, because it sounds fun. It sounds, but I don't know if I can actually do it. I mean, eventually I will do it. Just load up and go somewhere. And by the way, I tell people this all the time. At the top of pretty close to the top of my goal list is to be able to leave home and not know when I'm coming home.
Because your parents have done that a couple of times, right?
Well, they might get back then, might get back another time, but still have a general idea of when they're returning. But because what we do is time-based, minutes, seconds, hours, 24 in a day, we're responsible for populating with content, time.
Yeah.
And I just want to be at a position where you go, may come home in a week, may come home in a month. I don't know. May not go anywhere great, just so. That I'm told that sounds like retirement, but then I also see retired people and they go, I'm busier now than I ever was before. So I don't know what that means. To Springfield, Colorado, I take you. We had a story earlier in the week about a situation in Litchfield where a car was pulled over. And during the traffic stop, the driver and the female passenger, male driver and female passenger, tried to switch seats to hoodwink law enforcement officers on who was really driving. Well, if you thought that was good, I'll do you one better. A 28-year-old driver found himself in the doghouse after he attempted to switch places with his dog when he got pulled over on a suspicion of DUI on Saturday night in the southeastern Colorado town.
Did it work?
I'm thinking law enforcement did not buy it. I'm thinking they're saying that Fido was not actually behind the wheel. But if I were the police officer, I would have at least had to laugh.
Oh, yeah, me too.
At the try. Now, doesn't mean I'm going to let you go. But
Did you take the dog out and make him walk the line?
I appreciate the humor.
And the thing is, it's DUI, but you're in Colorado. So, I mean, you may have multiple components.
Imagine the dog trying to put his paw on his nose. You got to get to a break. We'll come back. More on the way here on In the Know.
Homeowners, especially on the lake, have most likely experienced or will experience water erosion on their properties. There is a solution and preventative measures that can protect against this type of erosion. With the help of products and service from Scotty's Contracting and Stone, Crushed Rock Road Enhancements can provide erosion control and shoreline protection. Well-designed and maintained erosion control helps ensure that today's beautiful and safe landscapes remain so tomorrow. To discuss erosion control and shoreline restoration solutions with Scotty's Contracting, call 270-259-5696.
Grayson County Alliance presents Art in the Park 2023. Saturday starting at 10 a.m. at James D. Bevel City Park in Litchfield. This free event will feature many fine artists and craftspeople from across the region. Spend the day in Litchfield browsing the fine works of art in a relaxing park setting. Food, live music, even a children's pavilion and art show. Free parking and entry. Follow the signs on Wallace Avenue to East Carroll Gibson Boulevard. Visit gcartinthepark.org for full details. The 10th annual Art in the Park 2023 style. Saturday starting at 10 at James D. Bevel City Park.
If there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that our children's health is vitally important. Today, we're talking to Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman about K-CHIP, the Kentucky Children's Health Insurance Program.
K-CHIP is health insurance at no cost for kids up to age 19 who meet eligibility. It's designed to make sure no one falls through the cracks because our future depends on our kids, and we must keep them healthy.
You mentioned that it's $0 for those who are eligible. How does a family qualify?
Those who qualify must meet income guidelines, but the guidelines are generous. We say if your family income is less than $60,000 or $70,000 a year, look into K-CHIP. You may qualify.
Lieutenant Governor, you've been a teacher, a basketball coach, and you're a mother, so it's easy to see why K-CHIP is so important to you.
That's right. Children have always been a big part of my life, and K-CHIP is designed to make sure all kids have health insurance.
To find out more, just search K-CHIP online. That's KCHIP.
Doors take us to summers away or winter adventures and afternoon getaways. Your dedicated Fidelity advisor can help you open those doors by working with you on a comprehensive plan to help you reach your wealth's full potential, because doors were meant to be opened. Visit fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimum supply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE SIPC.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
It's all about the sunshine for today as we warm into the 70s for our highs for tomorrow. More of that sunshine and more of those highs in the 70s. Now we'll watch those clouds increasing Thursday night into Friday, out ahead of our next system that will bring some rain as we get into the second half of Friday and early Saturday. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
That's when you need someone that you can call.
Today's Did You Know is brought to you by our friends at ECTC's Litchfield campus. They are gearing up for the summer season. The summer session starts on June 6th. Now you have a really good time to get your advisor, get your class schedule, get your financial aid worked out. It's college for the real world. It's right here at home, and it's a blessing to have such great convenience to ECTC's Litchfield campus, where they say, did you know it is only possible to dream about faces you have seen in real life? Your dream cannot invent a face.
Wow. I've heard that.
Very weird.
That is very weird.
Dream science is an interesting thing.
I had the strangest dream last night.
I want to get into it, but
and I remember it, and I don't dream to the point where I remember very often.
Was it a scary dream?
It was a weird dream. It was, and I don't know. Typically, when she and I diagnose dreams, and typically they're hers, we can figure out we can figure out where the plot points came in. Like, oh yeah, that's because, and oh, this is because, and oh that, and so it makes this weird goulash of story points. But I think I know the genesis of mine. Some entity that I was involved in was responsible for the discovery of some mineral or unique find or something underground. And they were building a lab underground, basically like a laboratory, like a mine. And they had this facility. And up top, they had this big monitor. They had a big screen monitor, and then they had a bunch of small monitors around it where you could see the coming and going. Okay, I got monitors all around here, right? I saw...
I don't know, it doesn't really show it in here.
No, I saw on 60 Minutes, there was a story about a lithium mine that they have found, that they're starting to build these lithium mines that go on these lithium batteries. So maybe that's it. But then here's where it's me. I was going to the laboratory for the ribbon cutting, right? The dignitaries and the grand opening. And I was preparing to do it, but I realized it was too cramped to get down to the laboratory, and I said, I'm not going. So my claustrophobia kicked in, and I sacrificed being part of this great thing
Who filled in for you then?
Because I couldn't get past. She did. I couldn't get past my cluster. But there was this big audience sitting
You
there.
could have had the big scissors.
Is this coming from being down in the cave?
Yes, it's Mammoth Cave. It's it's Mammoth. It's got Mammoth Cave.
Right.
It's probably got monitors, and it's probably got the lithium story on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
But I might have a dream I can remember once every 4 months.
I had not been remembering mine for quite some time.
Means you're resting well.
And but the last week I have started remembering again, and I am not happy about it.
Means you're not resting well.
Exactly.
Okay, summer blockbusters. Yesterday we gave you the May and June releases. Summer blockbusters. Joyride comes out July 7. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 on July 14th. Barbie, July 21st.
I don't know. That seems Ryan Gosling in there, I think.
I'm a Barbie girl. Oppenheimer, July 21. Haunted Mansion, July 28. Talk more about it in a second. Right in time for my birthday. The Meg 2, The Trench. Is that Megalodon?
Sure.
Yeah, probably. August 4. Yeah, large prehistoric shark. The Meg 2 is short for Megalodon. Gran Turismo on August 11 and Blue Beetle on August 18th.
What is that?
I don't know. It's something, has some connection to...
Is it a superhero?
It's DC's first Latino superhero.
Uh-oh. Good thing UConn's not here, because he probably would have jumped at us if we didn't know who this is.
Probably. Haunted Mansion is going to star Lakeith Stanfield, Owen Wilson, and Danny DeVito. And so they
No Eddie Murphy?
I don't think so. Haunted Mansion, July 28th. Grim getting ghosts come out to socialize.
It's pretty exciting.
Did we need this though?
I've not seen the first one.
Oh, I've seen. I don't even know
Now,
how
I'm
many
surprised
times.
How many times have you been to the Haunted Mansion though? And
1,000.
Oh, there's no telling.
I do like this though because I'm enough of a Disney fan that I love it when they take an attraction that was not based upon a movie. It's an attraction they created, and then later they created intellectual property to support the attraction. Pirates is a very good example of that. Now they're
Jungle
doing
Cruise,
it
right?
With Haunted Mansion, Jungle Cruise. Yep, perfect example.
What about Luigi's Mansion? You got to get that one in there too. That was a Mario game.
I don't know anything about that.
It was pretty much the same idea.
I am puzzled. We gave you some of these remakes that are happening. They asked Michael J. Fox on the possibility of a Back to the Future reboot. You'll notice there are those franchises that they won't touch for various reasons. This one is for a little bit of a different reason because Michael J. Fox is just he is iconic and known for this Marty McFly role. There is not a way.
Doc.
And Doc and Christopher Lloyd. And Christopher Lloyd's in better health probably now than he was then. But Michael J. Fox clearly can't play any right? They can't involve him because of his Parkinson's. So that's one of the reasons I think they've said, no, we're not going to entertain this idea because so long as he's with us, it would be insensitive to do it and not include him in some way.
What would even be the ploy?
They can make up anything. So it's never deterred them before from retelling a story. But he said, I'm not fanatical. Do what you want. It's your movie. I got paid already. So he's basically saying, I lived through the Marty McFly era. Do it if you want. So then that got me thinking, like, well, is there some way they could involve him? Like, is there?
Well, they did that with what's his name?
Val Kilmer is the better example. But at least in Val Kilmer had most of control of his mannerisms, but he just couldn't speak. So they came up with a clever way to work around that in Top Gun Maverick. So
a lot of text messages.
Yeah, text messages on screen.
I mean, what about something as simple as him sitting in a cafe? Or, I mean, it doesn't have to be anything major.
Maybe, but then it almost seems a little bit weird. Like they made him an extra in a movie that
but
so I don't know. But he sounds like he's given his blessing to say, do what you need. But my guess is if they don't get Michael J. Fox involved, they don't get Christopher Lloyd involved, right? They just go completely new cast to take the story forward if they're going to. And in case you're scoring at home, Miley Cyrus's new video for her song Jaded is out. The reason I mention is I've observed that for every year that Miley ages, she adds 10% more clothing to what she wears in public. So she's more clothed in this one than the last one. So she'll be more clothed in the next one than in this one. So we're trending in the right direction. We got to get to a break. We'll come back, finish it up for the morning here on In the Know.
Even if you consider yourself an atheist, protecting religious freedom is still in your best interest because religious freedom is foundational to every other freedom you enjoy. Among the freedoms our forefathers protected in the Constitution, religious freedoms is first on the list. The freedom to worship or not to worship is ours simply because we exist. It is given to us by our Creator, that is, God Himself. So only God has the right to take it away, not government. That's an important detail because if a freedom is given to us by the government, then the government can also take it away. Religion is a foundational freedom from which stems every other freedom we rely on to build a happy, thriving society. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are inalienable rights because those virtues are woven into the very nature of God. So are the institutions of marriage and the family. I support the right of everyone not to believe in God, but without an authority that transcends the state, our highest allegiance becomes to the state. Anytime government sees itself as our ultimate authority, it will seek to control what we believe, what we say, and what we do. Regardless of your personal convictions, religious liberty is foundational to every other liberty you and I enjoy. It allows each of us as individuals to live, speak, and act according to our deeply held convictions without interference from the government. For Focus on the Family, I'm Jim Daly.
People ask me sometimes, Lance, I'm worried about my finances and I feel bad because I should be worried, right? I realize that inflation is going to be eating up money. I've got to do something to get around this crazy stock market and Biden's spending spree. Gold has, since the beginning of time, been the resource that God's people have relied on. The silver is mine and the gold is mine, is what the prophet Haggai said during a time of great shaking. To protect your retirement, I recommend that you diversify your 401k or IRA right out of paper assets and into physical gold. And the best way to do that is with Gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, text the word DIVINE to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs. Remember, there are no strings attached. By diversifying your retirement account into gold, your savings can be protected. Just text that word DIVINE, DIVINE, to 989898. Take action right now, and I pray that your family is blessed with continued prosperity.
At Holiday World and Splash and Safari, sometimes free takes a little convincing, especially with dads.
Free parking? That's how they get you.
They're just naturally suspicious of free stuff.
Free soft drinks!
Whoa. That's how they get you.
But after a day of fun on the world's longest water coasters and our 400 drone light show, dads come around. At Holiday World, we get you. We're just not out to get you. That's why there's
free soft drinks! Free parking! Free soft drinks!
Get tickets at holidayworld.com.
MB's point to ponder for today might be a little challenging. What's legal now, but probably won't be in 25 years? See, we seem to be going the other way on some things. You know, it wasn't legal 25 years ago, but it is now.
No,
What's legal now?
The easiest one on that for the opposite is marijuana. As far as it'll be legal in 25 years.
No,
I think,
I'm saying what's legal now.
I'm saying, well, that's why I'm saying the other one is much easier.
I wondered if cigarettes, will they finally vanish? They've slowly been vanishing. Will they ever completely go away?
I wouldn't mind. Isn't it New Zealand that's doing the one that they're adding a year every year or something? And
Yeah, every year the age gets older that you have to be. So they're basically phasing it out they're keeping people from starting. But it's been in the news the last 24 hours. What about just free reign AI? Will we come up with regulations and laws about?
Will there be an FCC for the AI?
Yeah, will they bring it into?
Can there be?
Yeah, there can be. I mean, they'll have to create some type of branch or something. Speaking of Telecommunications Day, and You got, telecom. That's an entire bureau of the federal government, and I guess the internet falls underneath that. You come up with anything, hon?
I'm thinking really, really hard because, there's going to be it'll be something silly, right? It'll be something,
I just want to Google that and see. I'm sure that there will, like you said, that there'll be something that'll pop up that'll make sense.
It'll be something like, they've recently passed or whatever that you can't fish on your own ponds without a license. It'll be something stupid like that.
Well, 40 years ago, we could drive a car and didn't have to wear a seatbelt. Today, we can't do that.
Like you can't trim your trees without getting, approval by blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's where they get you.
Things like, it'll be something silly. I was trying to come up with something intelligent, but,
I struggle.
This is an interesting one that somebody says. Driving.
So,
but that won't be in
my mind
25
went
years.
To driving, like what is illegal now that wouldn't be, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, turning signals? I mean, could we? I don't know.
On television tonight, True Lies on CBS. It's the season 1 finale. On Fox, the season 9 finale of The Masked Singer. Fox has the season 1 finale of Farmer Wants a Wife. And on the NBA, the Heat at the Celtics. Go Bam.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I don't mind the Celtics.
I hate the Celtics. Today's highlight in history.
Rondo, one of my favorite Kentucky
Today's
players.
highlight in 1954. Nope. You're tainted. You play for Boston, you're tainted. A unanimous U.S. Supreme Court handed down in Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka decision, which held that racially segregated public schools were inherently unequal and therefore unconstitutional.
Tyler Hero's hurt, but he's also on that team.
Oh, yeah, he's a
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley. Randy Embry.
Yeah.
He's a scout. 1996, Bill Clinton signed a measure requiring neighborhood notification when sex offenders move in. It's called Megan's Law. Pretty commonplace now. In 2015, a shootout erupted between bikers and police outside a restaurant in Waco, Texas. That happened at the Magnolia restaurant?
I'm going with no.
Were Chip and Joanna involved in the shootout?
Yeah, I don't think it was near the silos.
Oh, okay. Sugar Ray Leonard is 67 today. Hello, friends. Jim Nance is 64. Enya is 62.
I almost thought he was older. Jim Nance.
Craig Ferguson is 61. Trent Reznor is 58. Jordan Knight is 53. Sasha Alexander is 5-0. Dancer choreographer Derek Huff is 38 today.
When you said Craig Ferguson, I thought you meant Craig Robinson, like from The Office, and I said he's 51.
Craig Ferguson.
He's the prior to James Corden, right?
Yes, that's right. British guy.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Hopper, born this date in 1936. Bill Paxton in 1955. Bob Saget in 1956. Let's pull a chart topper or two while we have a moment. We will try and take a little time travel back to 1954. And K-Star, #1 with If You Love Me.
If the sun should tumble from the sky, if the sea should suddenly...
I think I've heard all I need to hear.
Yes.
I think I know how that song's going to go. You know, you run into those songs where you just hear them, you think, I know exactly how the rest of that song is going to sound. So there's no reason to really hear it. 1963. Jimmy's Soul, #1. If you want
Oh, that's pretty funny stuff.
Those are some funny lyrics.
Yes, they are.
Let's go to 1972, and we will go and try to gather the Staple Singers with I'll Take You There.
Help me. Come on. Somebody help me now. I'll take you there. Help me, y'all. I'll take you there.
Is Mavis your favorite Staple Singer, Sam?
The other one.
No, okay. 1981.
From a friend who heard it from another, you've been messing around.
Kevin Cronin and the rest of the Speedwagon.
They say you got a boyfriend.
Taking on a run, baby.
That's my favorite song from this era. I mean, it's fine.
Roll with the Changes is my favorite REO Speedwagon
That's,
song.
yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg made me quit playing that. But
I was gonna say.
I heard it the other day and I thought, I need to try and sneak that back in since we've kind of changed things. I gave up on Roll with the Changes.
He's going to be waiting for you.
I
mean, you all have your relationship now, so.
That's true.
He knows who you are.
We've bonded. Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You. Written number 1, 1990.
Or hair.
Actually, it's a Prince song. It's on a Prince album before it was on her album. He wrote it. You ever heard that version?
Me?
The Prince version? Yeah, either of you.
I'm sure that I have.
It's worth a listen sometime to go hear Prince's interpretation of it, the way that he penned it. And so it was a huge hit when it came out. Shania Twain, That Don't Impress Me Much, number 1 in 1999. Also known as the name-dropping song. Oh, so you're Brad Pitt.
That don't impress me much.
All right, MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. There is little success where there is little laughter. There is little success where there is little laughter. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes, it's on